Okay, so I had mentioned that we have a very special guest here. So joining us today is one of my all-time favorite people, Brendan Bardick. He is the owner of the Bardick Group in Denver, Colorado, also has Bardick Coaching, and is just an all-around great dude. And he's going to present to you today on how you can increase your GCI without increasing the number of homes that you sell. So two ways that you can do that. So Brendan, are you there?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I'm excited. We ready?
Yeah. All right.
Well, yeah. Well, Jordan, thank you. I'm going to add that to my bio. Really great dude, I think, is now what I really want to be known as. But I appreciate that. And first of all, thank you, Jordan, for all the help with my business. It means the world to me. So I'm going to try to make the most value that I can in the shortest time possible. So today, we're going to be talking about two different tactics to make sure that you are working smarter and not harder. And the way that I got to this conclusion of the two tactics we're going to share today was working with James Shaw and Gary Keller, being tasked to go and find out what the top 100 agents were doing to increase their average GCI. And so went and researched, talked to a lot of different people. And one of the main tactics that we discovered was that there was a huge difference from the top 100 on average commission rate. In the top 100, the lowest commission rate on average was 1.07, and the highest was 3.4% on average. And so that was shocking to me to think that there was such a huge difference even in the top 100 of agents working almost twice as hard to make half the amount of money. So one of the things that I wanted to have everyone do is first start out with an example, is to figure out and make sure that you're really clear on what your average commission rate is. So for those, if you have pen and paper, it's a simple math problem that I realized that we weren't focused on, and that I don't think a lot of us are. We're just focused on volume, units, right? They give all the awards for units and volume. You don't get an award for highest average commission rate, which I really think should be the main focus. So if you take your last 12 months of total gross commission income, divide that by your total sales volume, that should provide you with your average commission rate. And I'll be very honest about my teams. When I did this, we discovered that we were averaging 2.42%. So 2.4. And the reason for a lot of that was referral fees. We were paying a lot of referral fees out to HomeLight and this company and Zillow Flex and all kind of different things. So we realized that was a major issue, is that we were getting crushed on referral fees. And then the second, that our commission structure was capped at 6%, meaning that we had a variable commission structure that went 5, 5.5, 6. And so when you end with 6, the big issue is that a lot of my agents were dropping down and going 5.5, 5. Well, the market's so hot right now, we can just, you don't understand, to be competitive, we have to give up our commission. And I found out that that's just not true. It's just a mindset, and it's how people are presenting things. So yeah, if you have your average commission figured out, I'd love for you to share it in the chat box so others can see, because the first thing I recommend is put that on a whiteboard in front of you and monitor it every single quarter, right? We need to be thinking about it on a regular basis. And as I go into this example here, I'm going to show you the reason why it's so impactful, and we call it the story of three little agents. So we've got, first of all, Nelson No Value, right? He sells one house at $500,000 at 1.07. And remember, this is in Gary's top 100, 0.07 commission. He's going to make $5,300. And when he sells 10 homes at 500 grand, he's going to make $53,000 when an average commission of 1.07%. Now, when we go to Annie average, if she was just in the middle, not on the high end, not on the low end, but if she's averaging 2.2, she's going to make 110K off of selling that same amount of houses, almost double, just because of that average commission rate. And then Rachel, the rock star, who's my only agent that I want to really work with on earth, right? She's averaging 3.4% for that same sale of 10 homes, making $170,000 in GCI. So when you look at these side by side, I mean, it really is a shocker, but it's something that we just don't think about enough. So we started talking to everyone. We said, how are they getting to these higher numbers and these higher percentages? Well, the number one way that they were doing this is what they call custom value packages. So we really started to think about why people love options. And I think we were taught as brokers early on to teach people 6% or that's it. I work for 6%. And I was like, well, think about that. That'd be the same thing like if you went to Starbucks and Starbucks only offered medium black coffee, right? You couldn't have your way, your style. There was no customization to the client's needs or the customer's needs. So really wanted to think about, we know that people like options, so let's give them options. Let's give them what they want. And in that, pack a lot of profit in for ourselves. And I love, love, love the word profit. So if you have a piece of paper, I'd like you to take that piece of paper and put it landscape, and we're going to just draw 3 columns. So basically 2 lines in the middle. So you'd have 3 equal columns. Should look something like this. So as we started to research the agents that were getting over 3% per side, higher 3 or higher, what we found is that they were offering value packages that changed the commission structure. Instead of 6%, they were going 6, 7, 8, 7, 8, 9. And one of those agents was all the way up to 10% on their total commission. So what they did is they said, look, let's offer different packages that can help the variety of different clients that we serve. So if you're looking at your gold package, and these names are completely just for example, you don't have to call it gold, platinum, double platinum, right? You could call it level 1, 2, 3. You could call it awesome, super awesome, and dope. You could do whatever you want, right? Like that's your call to make. That's not my call to make. But you're going to want to make these packages come to life. So if you think about it, in your gold package, your standard package, if you were offering that package at 6%, let's just say, and it's an average sales price of $500,000, and you're going to get 3% of that if you're co-brokering out. I know every area is different. Then you're going to be receiving 15 grand. Well, when you go to the platinum package and you go up just 1 percentage point, you're going to increase your commission by $5,000, right? So now you're going to go to $20,000 that you have to play with to provide this value package. So you've got your basic, and then you can see that you would include that. And then you start to add different things that are going to bring more value to help the seller net the most money possible. Now, my team had limited beliefs on this in the beginning. They're going, Brendan, right now, no one's going to pay 7 or 8%. People can put a sign up and just sell it themselves. I said, that's not what we're talking about. I'm talking about netting the most money possible. And by doing so, providing the most exposure in things that the seller is going to find a value in that they want. Now, will each one of these packages work for everybody? Not necessarily. So you can customize them and play with them. And that's what I hope you take away today, and you can make it your own. So, and then you go into the double platinum, right? So now you've got 3 different options where you're really starting to front load different value into it. And what we noticed was in the double platinum package, or your highest level package, your 8% or 9% or 10% package, is really helping the seller get the home in the best condition possible so that it shows in the best condition possible, which you know is going to produce 5, 6, 7% higher sales price than if you went in there and it had, cat pee carpets and green walls and, broken windows or whatever it is. Now, there's caveats to each one of these. So using Keller Concierge program, we've had a lot of success with that. Because we used to just front the money on our fix and list program. But we found that sellers really would like a lot of times they would like to have cosmetic repairs done, little things to freshen up the house to get a higher return. So if we can do that, increase our commission and make sure that it's a win-win for all parties, why not? So think about what you would have in your value packages. And here's where this gets fun. Now the conversation changes from 6% commission to 8% being the preferred package. And if they do go, you know what, we just don't think we need all of that, awesome. Well, then maybe we just stay in our middle package because this one will serve you best, but you just made an extra $5,000. Now, again, granted, there's gonna be a little bit of cost. So let's say you make an extra 4,000 because you put an extra 1,000 into the additional services that you're providing in there, but you just increased your transaction $4,000 like that, and provided a higher level of service to your clients. So where it got really exciting was watching how the top agents are utilizing this to, let's say that you have a past client and you're sitting there and I'm like, Jordan, you know what? I know you bought this home with me 4 years ago. And Jordan, I love you. I think you're fantastic. You're amazing. So why don't I do this? I'm gonna give you everything that we have in our double platinum package for the platinum package service fee. And when you can start playing around with this and use it as a token, they feel like they're special. They feel like they won, and you're creating a higher value, and you're still making another $4,000 per closed transaction, depending upon your average sales price, of course. So the way that you present this, and this is where this gets exciting, is after you've created your value packages, there's two different ways that you can present this. One of the agents that we researched would take every package, everything that they did in every package, and put them on little 3x5 cards, laminated them. Some of them had pictures on it. And in her presentation, she would just start laying out all of these cards like a Vegas blackjack dealer. Boom, 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 boom. And she was like, this is everything we do. Ding, 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 ding. Now that's in our double platinum package. And it's guaranteed to get you the highest net return out of anything we can possibly do to help you get your home sold. Now, we do have a lesser package, and she started taking away the little 3x5 cards. Boop, boop. And when you look at it, people don't like to see things taken away. And then all of a sudden, the table had these holes in it, and it just started looking sad. And then they go, now, and we also have our economy package, right? Economy. And she pulled away some more 3x5 cards. And now you had this jack-o'-lantern staring at them, all busted, looking at the table. And they were like, and it was like, so out of all of these options, which one would you like to move forward with? With the lowest option still being 6% with the busted jack-o'-lantern. So it was a mental, it was a visual, it was psychological, and I think it's so powerful. So that's one way to present it. Or you can just have in your marketing plan of action or whatever you call it, you can just have all three options listed out and printed nicely and display it however you want. So I think you can have some fun with it once you start thinking about sitting at the table with a seller and what matters the most to them. So any questions or Jordan, am I open to questions or I just keep going?
Just keep going. We'll open up to questions at the end.
Sweet. Okay. So cool. Then moving on. So that was the one tactic. And then the second tactic was, let me get to the slide here. So broker service fee. So I did a survey and I was curious how many agents were charging a broker service fee or a transaction fee or whatever you call it. I think calling it a broker service fee is the easiest way to explain this. And we realized that agents were charging anywhere from nothing to $1,500 plus per closed transaction for their broker service fee. So I put on here the NAR definition of what they call that, a fee to help offset costs associated with processing paperwork and meeting and regulatory requirements. Again, this is from the NAR website. So we wanted to make sure we understood how they were defining it. And then when we did this survey, we found that when you look at this, right, if you sell 25 homes in a 12-month period, and you're charging a $599 transaction fee, you're going to make an additional almost $15,000. If you sell 100 homes with a $599 transaction fee, $59,900, and then of course, where we get excited with our bigger teams, you're pulling down another $209,000 that's going straight to the bank. So I asked the question, why don't we do this? Why are there limited beliefs on this? And in a class, I was asking people and they go, well, that's just a junk fee. And I go, that's the problem right there, is if you feel that it's a junk fee or a fake fee or a fee to pay for your closing gift, then you framed it in the wrong mindset, and your team's never going to get behind it. If you own, if you have a team and you're helping other agents succeed, they're never going to get behind it. So the best way that we realize that you could explain this is a broker service fee is a fee to protect you, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer or seller, after we close the transaction. So if you need anything, it covers that time for up to 25 years. Now, I use 25 years. I know you've heard it before. We have to hold your file for 5 years. Do you really think I want to tell somebody that I want to hold their file for 5 years? That's why I'm charging them $5.99. What we think about is I'm going to be here for 25 years. Now people go, why 25? I go, because I can't leave. I'm not going to be 150 years old, right? I can't live forever. So if you're, whatever age, and I think 25 years just sounded like the correct amount of time. But here's the analogy for all of us as agents to think about. I tell this story. My wife, Catherine, is an agent, and I'm sitting in the car with her, and she just sold one of her past clients 300 acres of land. And she gets a call. She's sitting next to me in the car, and the guy's name is Steve. And Steve's like, Catherine, there's about 50 cows on my land. She goes, okay. He was like, well, they're not my cows. She's like, okay. And he's like, well, I want the cows gone. Okay, let me get to work on that, and I'll get right back to you. The property had closed a week ago. So now my wife is not a cow removal specialist. She doesn't know any of what she's going to have to do to make sure that this happens. But now she has to go spend 2 to 3 hours to track down whose cows they are, figure all this out, and make sure the client is happy. House closed a week ago. So we have to get out of the mindset that our commission covers a lifetime transaction. That's why we have a $5.99 broker service fee. So I think it's a lot about how we tell ourselves, and what to charge becomes important. And I know I have 1 minute left, but so how to deliver it to the clients, all of those things. In determining what to charge, the thing I'll leave you with is, well, what are you going to offer in value after the transaction closes? If the transaction closes and you're never going to talk to that client again, then it's kind of difficult to charge them something and feel confident and good about it. But if you're going to provide lifetime exceptional service, and that's what we pitch and pride ourselves on, then is $5.99 the right amount? Is $7.99? Is $9.99? And yes, so we made this switch. We now are receiving this on 96% of all of our transactions. We started doing this, I think, 4 years ago now at this point. And when you think about it, when you start making an extra $200,000, think about all the virtual assistants you can employ. Think about all of the different things you can put back into the business. I mean, basically, you could have 60 virtual assistants. I'm just kidding. That's a virtual assistant joke. But you could have an army of people working for you because of one thoughtful change. So I hope that helps. I hope those two techniques, if you're not employing both of them, you think about them and just start thinking about, how can I go from whatever your commission rate was? And I think only one person was brave enough to put theirs in. Thank you, Jenny. 2.83, right? 2.83 to figuring out, if she just went from 2.83 to just 3, how much would she made different? How much money would she have made in addition last year?